a very happy and prosperous 2025. Starting with our macro and market wrap-up, the global economy ended 2024 on a mixed note, with European data disappointing but tentative signs of stabilization in China. The US continued to show resilience, maintaining its position as the economic outperformer. Equities, particularly US equities, marked their second year of strong performance. Despite some corrections in the final quarter, MSCI India delivered 14% return for the year. For the year again, small and mid-cap stocks had fared better than the large cap. Gold performed well, and the US dollar, measured in terms of DXY, strengthened by 7%. EM government bonds showed positive return, while DM bonds suffered their fourth consecutive year of poor performance. Brent crude declined despite geopolitical tensions due to weak demand. Industrial metals saw subdued performance in 2024 after 3 years of positive returns. Looking ahead to 2025, optimism prevails in the markets. US stocks have been buoyed by expectations of corporate tax cuts, deregulation, and a favorable global trade outlook post the US election. In Asia, China is promising looser monetary and fiscal policy to support growth. As a result, markets are forecasting for a steady growth, with little concern over material weakness. Growth seems to have a policy support, and consumption demand appears to stay put in the US or improve, as in the case of China and the Europe. However, global inflation presents a more complex and uncertain picture. Disinflation, which had been prominent in many regions, has stalled, particularly since second half of 2024. The downward pressure from falling energy prices and improved supply chains has diminished, while fiscal and monetary policies, tight labor market, and productivity growth are becoming more influential. In the US, disinflation in goods prices may have plateaued, and inflation and consumer spending growth will be impacted by tariffs, currency fluctuations, and the extent to which tariffs are absorbed in corporate profits. Restrictive immigration policies could also contribute to persistent inflation in the US, though ideally, Trump administration should be mindful of the inflationary impacts of their policies. In Europe, fiscal policies remain relatively restrictive, but gas prices are rising at the margin. Oil prices have remained stable despite ongoing geopolitical instability in the Middle East. Food prices, particularly for commodities like coffee and cocoa, have risen globally. We need to be mindful of global food prices, especially in emerging markets where food constitutes a larger portion of the consumer price index. In summary, disinflation has stalled globally, with inflation levels remaining higher than pre-pandemic levels. Inflation trajectories are increasingly divergent across regions, and there is a high chance that inflation risk could remain persistent throughout 2025. Global monetary easing cycle has begun. It is expected to continue in 2025 too. Yet, the consequent positive reaction in the fixed income asset remains elusive. On the policy front, the end to 2024 has just been opposite to that of 2023. Back in December 2023, Fed chair added 2 more cuts in its 2024 guidance, and market went even more aggressive. Come to December 2024, the chair took away 2 cuts from its guidance, and now market is in sync with the Fed dot plot. Even as 2025 appears to be starting on a more realistic terms in terms of rate expectation, there could still be negative surprises in the storm. In the new US administration's policy, if there is a policy mix which leads to Fed to maintain a higher rates, the central banks globally will also have to follow the suit, particularly if US tariffs provoke retaliation or currency depreciation, raising the concerns on domestic inflation. All eyes are on the US policies now. Looking ahead to 2025, the evolving US tariff regime poses risks to China manufacturing and investment, with exports facing significant headwinds. It remains unclear how much China can offset this by diversifying trade beyond the US. These export risks highlight the need for stronger domestic demand, particularly consumer spending. While some consumer goods sales have improved due to government policy support, these measures don't suggest a sustained consumption recovery. Lower consumer confidence driven by poor employment prospects raises concerns about the potential private consumption growth without a continued state support. Unlike the previous stimulus packages which focused on infrastructure, the most effective growth driver may now be boosting the household consumption. As a result, commodity producers and machinery exporters may not see the same benefit as they had seen in the past stimulus. In India, the economy showed signs of a moderate slowdown in first half FY25. The growth was dragged down by election-related slowdown in spending and relatively higher than typical weather anomalies this year, which derailed the construction activity. The high-frequency indicators for October and November suggest some revival in growth. We believe rural consumption and higher government spending to meet the budgeted targets will lift the GDP growth slightly over the second half of FY25. In FY26, we expect both monetary and fiscal policy to increase their focus on growth at the margin. Monetary policy could go slow on the macroprudential tightness and support liquidity, though we do not rule out a shallow rate cutting cycle too. Fiscal policy, on the other hand, could go slow on fiscal consolidation and reduce the fiscal deficit by a mere 20 to 30 basis points at the center, vis-a-vis 80 to 90 basis points each year in FY24 and FY25. In the upcoming Union Budget 2025, we hope for some revival to revenue expenditure and positive changes in the income tax regime. A year has now become too long a time frame in the investment world, but we think that 2026 could start with a relative outperformance in the investment growth over the consumption growth. Consumption has a near-term hang of reduced credit growth, MFI concerns, and urban-related weakness. That said, given the hope for a policy support, consumption outlook could turn brighter through the course of 2025. Currently, rural economy shows better resilience than the urban counterparts. The government's welfare measures, including free food grain and many other subsidies, have supported lower income households, but the middle class faces challenges from rising prices and stagnant wage growth. A favorable tax policy could potentially spur the overall growth in India, which is currently constrained by weak consumption demand. The government's capex has grown at a robust pace from FY22 to FY24, but growth is expected to moderate now, more in line with India's overall nominal GDP growth. India's corporate capital expenditure too has picked up around 17% CAGR during FY22 to FY25, but now the capex growth could settle in mid-single digit. Expenditure is likely to slow in the coming years, but some sectors like power and automobiles are expected to see majority of the corporate capex expansion. Global trade outlook is unexciting, though India still continue to gain market share in select sectors and could be the last target of US adverse policies in tariffs. That said, unlike 2021 and 22, export is unlikely to be the mainstay of India's growth. Rupee has depreciated nearly 2.5% in 2024. Dollar strength on Trump's promises is leading to lack of FII enthusiasm for EM nations. These problems get compounded by a deterioration in India's basic balance. India's external account has shifted from comfort to caution, and the biggest reason is sharp slowdown in net FDI due to dual factors of reduced fresh inflow and sharp jump in repatriation. In FY25, rising gold imports also work to widen the trade deficit. Despite that, current account deficit remains modest, supported by strong services exports and remittances. But with this reduced FDI, which is a stickier form of capital, reliance on volatile FII inflow rises. Thus, as long as investors continue to buy into Trump's promises and favor dollar, rupee stays under the depreciation bias. With a heavy quantum dip into FX reserves, we observe that RBI is allowing rupee to slide. One would logically believe into an end for the dollar rally, and most likely with the turn of the year. But given the elevated forward book that RBI sits with, a word of caution on rupee still remains. Rupee could slide further. We are sanguine on India's retail inflation. 2 years of vegetable price rise would provide a strong favorable base. And it isn't like consumer demand is overheated. Thus, core would stay under control. We have factored in a near 15 to 20% telecom tariff hikes around mid-2025 and a continued 5 to 6% electricity tariff hikes through the year. No material rise in transportation cost is also being a very big help. CPI could average under 4.5% in FY26. In terms of monetary policy, the RBI may need to adjust its liquidity and macroprudential measures to support growth, given that credit growth has slowed and deposit growth remains sluggish. A shallow rate cutting cycle cannot be ruled out. Overall, the macro dynamics at present remains constructive for the Indian bonds. Fixed income yields across the tenors continue to provide visibility of higher prospective real returns based on estimated forward-looking inflation. Apart from portfolio diversification, absolute yields as more favorable so in the shorter end of the curve are extremely compelling with high carry and possible roll down. All possible matrices for valuation including real returns, short-term bond spread etc. remain compelling. We are likely entering into an easing monetary cycle in India too. The overall fiscal direction in India remains positive. Hence the reason for our positivity on fixed income assets into 2025. The recent consolidation in the Indian equity market and some moderation in valuations is a welcome change. Yet, despite these corrections, valuations richness remains, more so for the broader market. We therefore expect the current consolidation to continue entering into calendar year 2025. From a longer standpoint, however, the Indian equity story continues to be supported by a healthy growth of the economy and earnings upside. The current turbulence should bring the focus back on the fundamentals. We remain of the view that increasingly the market will become more discerning and move back towards companies which have strong business models, long-term earnings growth visibility and a sustainable cash flow. Signing off for this month. Thank you.
Mutual fund investments are subject to market risks. Read all scheme-related documents carefully.